Welcome to Diggin with Deej. How is everybody? Let's see who's in my chat. Let me scroll down. Finding Goodies. Tracy's in my chat. Welcome, Tracy. PA Relic Hunters. I believe the name is David, right? Let me know if I'm not remembering correctly. There's Damon Jacobs. Let's see. There's Ambient Girl Digs, Nancy. And that's it so far. So I got this idea for a double feature live stream, and Audra and I talked about it. And well, I talked to Damon and Sue and Sandy and Todd, and they were game for it. Welcome, Amethyst. Hi, Bobby. And that. And then I already had 3 people lined up. Unfortunately, Stan and Monisha Metal had to work tonight, I think. So he was not able to come, but we'll have him in a future live stream. So I'm going to bring in my guests. And that. My first 2 guests are Damon and Sue, co-managers of Adirondack Park Paranormal Society and Apps Relic Seekers. And let me bring them in to the live stream. Hi, you two. How are you doing?
Hey, we're doing great.
How's it going?
Good. You guys want to tell our audience a little bit about your groups and how you got started in paranormal research?
So I founded the initial team in 2008. For some of you that have tuned in before, you're going to hear this story again for the 18th time.
I've seen beeping.
So founded it in 2008, renamed it and rebranded in 2011. Shortly thereafter, we had our first major investigation in 2014, which is where this one came into the picture.
Yep. That's your fault, though.
It is my fault. I brought her in. We didn't do background checks back then, and now she's grandfathered in, so I can't get rid of her.
Thank you.
Well, I try. So we've been around since technically since 2008, but this team name has been around since 2011. I have had a couple experiences of my own prior to forming the group, and I saw, obviously, like most people did back in those days, Ghost Hunters was just starting to make their big hit on TV, and
yep.
I went, hey, well, this sounds like fun. Let's go for it. And then, one thing led to another, and there had to be, at least 30 groups in our area at one point.
Yeah, for a while they were popping up everywhere.
Yeah, and we're the only one left now out of probably 30 groups back in 2010. It was huge up here, and now we're the only one that's still kind of got the drive and haven't fizzled out, and we're still making a name for ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think you guys have, what do I want to call it? Your goals
Gizmo.
are probably different than many of theirs were.
Yeah. We've got a pretty solid moral based mission statement. We don't charge for investigations. We're not looking for profit. We're not looking for fame or fortune.
Right. I was gonna say we have a different approach.
Yeah.
Altogether.
We try to go at it in a matter of finding the history on places, try for the most part to scientifically explain what's going on. And for those we can't scientifically explain, then we dabble in the realm of what might be paranormal. In that sense. And then, a year and a half ago was when we branched out and decided to form Apps Relic Seekers. So now we're not only are we doing the paranormal stuff, now we're doing the relic seeking and the environmental cleanup.
It's like any other group. You find we were getting calls about, well, what about this? I found this on my property. What do you think about this? And we were getting more and more calls in that realm. What should I do with this? I just found this. What should I do with it? And or would you guys be willing to come check out the property? And And okay, well, if we keep getting these calls, maybe we should be looking into it as to, spreading our focus.
Kind of went where the demand was.
Yeah.
And now that, all the metal detecting type live casts and stuff are making the hit now, it's kind of where the demand is. I mean, the paranormal investigations is still huge for us. It's our bread and butter, but now we've realized that we can expand and do more with our tools. I initially got my metal detecting gear for paranormal research to rule out underground pipelines and electrical lines and stuff like that. Next thing you know, we're finding, okay, well, maybe these talismans and stuff like that we're finding might be some of the reason why we're having, A, B, and C going on in the property. So
Right.
we've kind of, branched out, and, so relic seekers, we do metal detecting, magnet fishing, lost jewelry recovery, that kind of stuff. We're dabbling into getting trained for evidence recovery, and crime scene preservation, stuff like that, because up here there are a lot of cold cases, and like most prominent areas in the state and the country, there was a lot of major skirmishes and battles that went on in our area too.
gosh, yes.
So we want to make sure that we're preserving everything we come across for history and for legal purposes, so to speak.
Okay. So let's bring in our second guest, and then you guys can continue your conversation and tell us how you met. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And our next
Dark
guest
and stormy
is
night.
Sandy. Todd was not feeling well tonight, so Todd won't be with us tonight. Keep him in your prayers. He's dealing with some sickness. Sandy is medium / investigator for Fort Schuyler Paranormal Society. And then she and Todd have a show on Facebook called the Sandy and Todd Cast. So let's bring Sandy in. Hi,
Hey
Sandy.
guys. Hey there.
How you
Hello.
doing?
I am really good. Thank you. And Todd is so sorry he can't be with us tonight, but he's just not feeling well. And I'm sure we'll bring him back at another time. He's quite the experience.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be mad at me for that one.
He's something, all right.
So how did you three meet? Or four?
It's your
Well,
fault.
kind of, sort of, it is.
Okay, I'll take the blame.
Well, I mean, in theory, it's Dennis's fault.
Yeah, really, it is.
It's truly Dennis's fault.
Dennis Webster was the catalyst in all of this. I have always had an interest in the paranormal my entire life. Did not realize that I had any kind of, quote, special abilities until a few years ago. Had experiences, felt things my whole life, but just sort of said, oh, I have a great imagination. It wasn't until a few years ago that I started to realize that I didn't just have a good imagination, that there were real things going on. And I had always loved Dennis Webster's books. Great author about the paranormal and history. And I would go to some of his presentations locally. And that's how Dennis and I met. And about a year and a half ago, Dennis asked me if I wanted to join an internet ghost hunting show called Ghost Pubs and Grub. And I said, sure, I'd love to do that. And we did a few investigations for that show. And one of them, Dennis said to me, I'd love for Sue to come on, Sue from APS, Adirondack Park Paranormal Society. Love for her to come on and come with us for this particular location. And so Sue did, and that's how Sue and I met. And we just really had great chemistry together. Yeah. We worked well together, liked each other a lot, and had mutual respect. And so that's how Sue and I met. And then it all just sort of came together when Dennis and my husband Dave and I formed the Fort Schuyler Paranormal Society. Dennis had been working with APS for quite a while on different investigations, and we all just sort of got together after that.
Yeah, we're basically partner teams. Just we're covering both ends of the state in a theory.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
And we did a big joint investigation back in the spring, the Russia Union Church.
Mhm.
And that was very, very exciting and quite an investigation.
That was pretty cool because it was 2 separate teams technically.
Yep.
Mhm.
But if you had watched us work together,
You'd
it was
think
like
we've
we
been
had
doing
done
it our
several
entire
investigations
lives.
together.
Yeah.
That we had known each other for a long time, and we really hadn't. I mean, Sandy and I knew one another, but she didn't know the rest of the team.
Right.
Dennis knew most members of the team, but not everybody knew everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was this beautiful flow. Everybody interacted with everybody.
And even earlier in the day with Relic Seekers there, Dennis joined right in and was right in there digging in the dirt with the rest of us.
Yeah.
So
He grabbed, I gave him my metal detector at first, and then I started finding where it was, I found a hot spot behind the church, behind the schoolhouse. And he and one of our other members, Amy Lynn, were down there in the dirt just digging away.
Making their mud pies.
Found a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we just sort of formed this great friendship team partner sort of situation.
Yep.
And then Todd and I started the Sandy and Todd cast back at the beginning of this year. And that really blossomed. And Sue and Damon have been on our podcast several times.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say at least 5 times, I think.
I think so.
Lost count.
We love them. Everybody else loves them. So they kind of come on. And it's great because we really have a huge respect for these guys and what they do. And our perspective on ghost hunting or paranormal investigation is very similar to theirs. Yeah. And it makes for a really great conversation, a great roundtable, and great investigation, teamwork.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not seeing my mod in the chat. I wanted him to put everybody's links in there.
That's unacceptable.
Hello to Brooklyn Treasure Hunter.
My mods are volunteers.
Yeah, I know all about being bosses volunteers.
Yeah, and you can't quit when you're a volunteer. They won't let you quit.
No, they won't let you quit.
No, and you don't get paid.
No.
They offer you more pay, but it never happens. It just,
Look, I gave you an extra lunch slip per day. Jesus.
Yeah, okay.
Just because you're not valid anywhere doesn't mean squat.
Okay, I put, we're on, Mark. Hi, Dark Knight Detectorist. Kane beeping just ended up in the chat. Anthony Brooklyn Treasure Hunter, Ray Gonzalez. I think those are the newest ones that just came in. We're waiting a little bit at 1:45. Mark the Berg Hunter is going to be our detectorist guest with some experiences that he wants to talk to the team about.
Okay.
And I actually have a video that he did put out. He sent it to me that he wants them to take a look at because he's not sure if it's an orb or not.
Was this the thing that you wanted us to look at a month or so ago?
Yeah, a couple months ago.
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
It's all coming together now.
Yep. So, and we're going to have Mark tell his story when he gets on here.
It'd be like an awesome AA meeting.
An awesome what?
AA meeting.
That's the first step.
That's right. Bring a friend. Oh wait, that's the second step.
See, you brought the friend. So
that's right. That's right.
Right.
It's been 6 months since my last melody detecting gig.
Well, it had been a month for me since my last metal detecting gig.
Actually, no, because we were behind Brett's.
Yeah, but we did. Did we do that before or after Russia Church though?
Both.
We
did it twice.
Yeah.
And
I was still wearing my cast.
I was gonna say you were there multiple times, but that's different.
I was still wearing
do
my
you
cast.
guys all want to explain your abilities?
Sure. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, as long as I don't get committed afterwards. I mean, that's good.
Well, it's AA. We have to admit. First.
Yeah, I know, right? David has some interesting abilities. No, I'm just kidding. Well,
we don't put them all on air, though.
Family show, Sandy. Family show.
So first of all, well, I am what they call an empath, a healer type of empath. Empaths seem to, for anyone who doesn't know about empaths, they're people that don't just have empathy for others, because everybody should, or could have empathy for others. It goes a little deeper than that. If you're an empath, you sort of soak up and take on the emotions of not only other people, but you can take on the emotions and feelings of other animals, nature, the ground, the earth, anything like that. It has its very good points and it has its very bad points, and the whole key to that is to be able to manage it. I also have some other abilities. I can touch objects and sort of get feelings from them. I can feel the energy that comes off of them. I can feel the energy in a room or location. I can tell usually whether it's male or female. I call them visions, but I get little flashes in my mind of maybe names or a situation. It especially happens to me at least a week or two before an investigation that I know is coming. I sort of like lock into the location, and then I'll get a name, or I'll get names or situations or things that happened or places that I need to check out, things like that. I also just kind of, sometimes I just know things, or I'll hear things that other people can't hear, that sort of thing. I don't know if I have the ability to actually see spirits. I never really put myself in that position to try hard enough to do something like that. Like I said, I just started to learn more about myself and this sort of thing a few years ago. So I'm still in that learning stage of trying to learn how to manage it and understand it more. But I've learned to be much more spiritual. I'm what I call a healthy skeptic. When things happen to me, I tend to try to debunk them first and make sure that there isn't a common sense or technical explanation for it. And then I'll look into the paranormal side of it. That's how I work with things. So that's really what I have, what the abilities that I have and what I can do. And I try to work with all of those abilities at once to sort of come up with, along with scientific evidence that we gather, to sort of come up with the whole story of what's going on in a situation.
Right. Damon?
So like Sandy, I am also an empath. I don't have the 2-week prior vision stuff like y'all do. I'm more of the on the spot. They'll send me ahead and make sure the floor won't give out in front of them kind of guy. Make sure that
AKA the guinea pig.
Yeah, I'm like the canary that they send in the mines, as Todd referred to me the last time. No,
you're the safety inspector. Yeah.
That's what I am. They just forget to put the helmet on me before they send me ahead of the rest of the team. No, I have the empath abilities. Sometimes it's a burden more than a blessing, especially when I'm walking in or around a cemetery. That really hurts my head. However, I also, and I'm not sure what the name for it is. Usually when we're walking the property or a site prior to an investigation, and I've joked about this a couple times, and we kind of joked about, they send me ahead to see if the floors are going to give out. Usually we'll walk the place, and like after about the first 5 or 10 paces, and Sandy can attest to this because I did this right at the Russian church, everybody kind of takes like 6 steps back and watches me just kind of walk through, and I'll just be like, okay, right here, and just keep on walking, and over here there's something, and I'm not sure how to what the name for that would be, other than human dowsing rods.
That's a good name. That works. That's a good name for it.
But yeah, it's just something I've kind of had for a while now, and
you probably always had it.
Probably, yeah. Just my eyes are more open after my first couple experiences that kind of went, okay, this is not just something the wind, whatever kind of deal. So,
for me,
you the team felon.
We'll talk about the felonies after. No, for me, it's before we do an investigation, if we get any calls on any location, I love to do research. I've done bucos amounts of genealogy for lots of people. Yeah, that's some of my research. It's literally
That's a
stat.
chapter of what we did for one investigation.
But while I'm doing the research, I find I connect to I'll connect to either individuals or the area, and I'm drawn to go to certain areas as I'm researching. I don't know why, but I need to follow that path. And from that point, I'll start having dreams. And sometimes it's visions during the day, sometimes it's a phrase. And I won't let the investigators know what I'm finding, either with my physical research or the dreams, unless like I had to reach out to one of our investigators because someone was coming to me, and it didn't have anything to do with me. It didn't have anything to do with the research we were doing. And I sat him down. I said, "Does this mean anything to you?" And he goes, "That would be it was his great uncle, right?"
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
And so I gave him the message. I haven't seen him since. Well, actually, I've seen him once since, but that's another story. But that's what happens to me. And while they're investigating, I don't want our investigators to go in with blinders and say, "Well, Susie said, look for this, this, and this."
Right.
Because sometimes it's directed at me. It's not directed at the group. So I'll find it while I'm there. But majority of the time, something will happen to either one of the investigators, or they'll hear something, or they'll something will come up on the cameras, and they'll say, "Does this mean anything to anybody?"
And that's the moment we realize that if
And
we ever play poker with Sue,
Well,
that we will win horribly bad and she will lose horribly bad.
I can't play poker.
She
I couldn't.
can't.
I really
She
couldn't,
can't.
because this happens.
She gets that shit-eating grin, and then she'll start giggling, and then we're like, "Yep, we're on the right track."
It's my
Scooby.
brain going, yes. Again, I could take something physical research, and I can combine it to what we're getting off either our recorders,
Yep.
or what Sandy's getting, or what Damon's getting, or any other member of the team is getting.
Yep.
And we can put that together. So you're putting research, you're putting the empath, you're putting all that other stuff together and creating something solid that we can present back to whoever we're doing this for.
Yep.
And what I love about Sue is that now I'm the kind of person that I like to go into things blind anyways. I don't want to know, because I want to be able to not have those blinders on and just go with whatever I'm feeling, whatever I hear, whatever I sense, anything like that. But by the same token, it's great to have Sue on that team, because for many reasons, but especially because Sue has such a knowledge base of the investigation location and the things that surround it, the things that happen there, that if at any point in time I need to know something about what I'm feeling or hearing or thinking or seeing, Sue is the person I can go to, and she'll confirm that for me.
Mhm.
And I can't tell you how important that is to not just a medium, but to anyone who's on a team.
Yep.
To have that information there, and not
Yep.
just some information, any information that you need is right there for you.
And
And
I've
that's-
done that with Sandy's, when you guys did it, the restaurant down, I think it was in Baldwinsville.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the Angry Garlic.
Did some research on it. I didn't say anything to them, what I had found out. And at one point, it was either Dennis or Sandy had fired me off a question on my phone. And I said, try asking about, I think it was Mary.
This is great. Sue had Dennis tell me to ask if there was a Mr. and Mrs. White in the restaurant. And we sat down in one of the rooms, the dining rooms, where they had been having activity. And I said during an EVP session, "Mr. and Mrs. White, are you with us this evening?" And very, very clearly, Class A, very, very clearly, I heard a gentleman after the fact, not audibly, but in the digital recording, say, "Yes, ma'am." And it was in a style that someone at that time period, that a Mr. White the way he would speak.
Mm-hmm.
And so very, very literally responding to my question. "Yes, ma'am."
And that's the nice thing
And
about the partnership
great.
between the two teams is
Yeah.
it works.
Right.
It works
Yeah.
really well. Like they've got an investigation come up, and I can guarantee you that at some point or another, they're going to be like, "Hey, Sue, can you do a deep dive on A, B, and C?" And they're going to probably utilize her,
Mhm.
like a well-strung fiddle, the night of the investigation. She's not going to get any sleep.
Let me see what I can find
Yeah.
for you.
I'm going to get a
Okay.
text message
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, we need to postpone the meeting because I haven't slept in 3 days, and
Yeah.
we can blame
And
Forrest
that's
Schuyler
what
for it."
happens when I'm researching. I literally I can't sleep, and I
Mhm.
keep being drawn to. And if I do stop that I have to get some sleep. I got to work tomorrow.
Right. Right.
I'll have dreams during the night that will keep me awake.
Mhm.
So I'll get up during the night, which drives my husband
And
absolutely
write
crazy.
stuff down.
And I'll be writing stuff down. Here's a good example. I don't know if you can see that. See the scratch notes?
Yeah.
That was on my bedside.
Oh wow.
Again, we got to be careful what we show because they're going to commit us if we keep
I
it
know,
up.
right?
That was
Well,
on
tonight
that was on the Rush Church.
I want to utilize all 3 of you tonight to try to help one of my friends understand what may have happened to him
Hmm.
at a cellar hole that he
Sure.
was metal detecting. And so let me bring in Mark the Berg Hunter. There he is.
Hi, Mark.
Mark.
Hi, Mark.
How you doing?
Good. I couldn't pass that up.
That was great.
Very good.
So, Mark, how long have you been metal detecting?
A little over 3 years.
Okay.
Yep.
And why don't you tell us about the first time you went to this cellar hole and about where it's located, but don't give away the name of the park, But what we discussed last night.
Yeah, it's one of the bigger parks in Pittsburgh. Half of it is like still well maintained, where kids can play and you can sunbathe or do whatever you want to do in that section. Then the other parts are heavily wooded, and in the heavily wooded areas, there's a good bit of cellar holes. And I was up on top of the hill detecting, and some guy come up to me and said, "Hey, did you know that there's a cellar hole like right over that hill?" I said, "No, I didn't know that, sir." He said, "Yeah, I was just there and I found a couple harmonica reeds and some other stuff." I said, "Oh, cool." So he left, and then I went over. And as I went over, I got nothing. I mean, nothing. It was trash after trash after trash, then nothing. And then I don't know how long into it, I heard in my one ear, "What are you doing?" And it's a woman's voice. So, you do one of those quick, "What the hell?" But then nobody was there. And then that's when I said, "I'm just looking to save your history so I can save it and show it to the future." And I never got a response back from her. So I said, "Okay, if you don't say anything, I guess it's okay. I can still metal detect here."
No news is good news.
I was detecting a little more, and then all of a sudden I couldn't hear my detector anymore. I looked down, it's working, and so I disconnected the headphones, and you could hear it plain as day through the speaker of the Equinox. I connected them back up again. Nothing. It was dead silence. So I went, okay, let's troubleshoot. Volume. Okay, volume is up on the metal detector. Let me check the headphones. The headphone volume was all the way down to 0. Now, I didn't move it to 0. I didn't move it whatsoever. So, and also, like I was telling Deej and Sandy, I had just taken those off of the battery charger. So they were fully charged. So then I didn't really pay much attention to it. I said, I don't know, maybe it was a fluke. Maybe I bumped it. Maybe I just didn't pay attention when I was putting them back on. So I'm going a little more, and man, the volume goes out again. So I'm looking at the machine. The volume's on the machine. It's my headphones again. So now I'm starting to get a little bit uneasy. So then I turned it back up again. I must have took like 2 or 3 swings, and bam, they snapped off again. I looked around. I went, "Okay, ma'am, I'm leaving. I get the picture. I'm not going to bother you anymore today. And I left. And it took I got about 100 yards away, and then the volume just came back up on its own.
Now, I'm not familiar with the Knox because the most I have with wireless headphones is the Simplex. Is it the similar as the Simplex? You have to go into control on the Knox and turn your volume up. You can't just do it on the headphones.
I can turn the volume up. You can turn it up, I think, on the Knox and also on they're independent. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You have the speaker, the volume control for the Knox, and then for the headset, they're different.
Okay, so that's different than the Simplex. Okay, so I was trying to think. Okay, well maybe it's a button that's stuck or something like that on the Simplex, but or on the Knox, but seems legit. I mean, did you have any battery loss on anything or battery droppage on any of your gear?
I don't think so because after I didn't. Being honest with you, I didn't really check. That was I was done for the day after that.
Yep.
So after I got about 100 yards away, like I said, everything started working again. I'm just done. I'm out of here. And so I just shut everything down and walked to my car.
Have you ever gone back?
I didn't check any batteries or anything.
Have you ever gone back?
Oh yeah.
Did you do it again when you went back?
No.
We had another experience.
I was going to say that. Yeah. I can remember on total of 3 different times on going back. The second time, I don't know if everybody saw that video of mine. That's where I caught that little green floaty orb thing flying all around in front of me. That was at that cellar hole. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I was wearing it on my chest mount, and I took it off. As I took it off, I looked in the viewfinder, and that's when I saw it. And so I didn't take my eyes off the viewfinder because I didn't want to lose it as I was following it. So I never got a chance to lay my real peepers on it. So I don't know. It could have been a lens flare. Could have been.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're not sure.
We're
still not sure what it was, but I'm going to play the video for everybody. Okay.
Great.
So let me see how I have to do this. I'm going to do it like this. Add to stream. Okay. While metal detecting, the following was caught on video. I'm going to narrate the parts he doesn't talk.
I'm going to try one of those.
Okay. Or if you want to do it.
Live.
No, that's good, Deej. You got it.
Ready?
Okay. Is it playing?
Heard some background sound there for a second.
Oh, what did it freeze?
Looks like it.
Yikes.
Okay. I think I froze. I think everybody froze.
I'm still here.
Page unresponsive. StreamYard froze.
Uh-oh.
It's not working, you guys. Hang on. Let me try to get it out of there.
Yeah.
Bummer. Aha. Oh. Deej left.
Wow.
Deej, come back.
Who wants to host?
Not me.
Well,
you says host next to your name, so you go for it.
I know, right?
Mark, I got a couple questions for you. So you said you went back there 3 other times.
I remember 3 times.
Okay.
The last time was pretty cool. Even before I crossed the plane of where I thought their property was, I shut everything down and I said, "Ma'am, I'm just here to try to save your history. Just trying to find out what you guys did for a living and to save it so that maybe I can show it to somebody in the future to keep this your name and what you did alive." I found some very, very cool relics after that.
Okay, that was one of my questions because I know Sandy does that. I know we do that.
There we go.
Literally before we.
What a mess.
Before we even start, and when I'm doing my research, I also say that to whomever is listening.
Yes.
I want to tell your story. You have a story to tell, and I'd like to be the one to share that with everyone. If you'd be willing to work with me, and honestly, I think that's why I'm guided. Somebody will approve, and I'm pointed in whatever direction I am supposed to go.
It's the same when I'm dowsing.
Yeah.
It's the same concept when I'm on investigation. I'm dowsing. I do an opening. Well, one can call it incantation, one can call it a prayer, whichever way you want to look at it. And it's literally, that's, and if I don't do that, if I just say show me a yes, show me a no, I'll get those, but I'm not going to get much as fluid a response or the energy flow. But it's Sandy witnessed it firsthand at the church. Then I opened it up, and it was, we're only here for good. We're not here to
Right.
whatever.
Right.
Everything
We're
starts
not here to
flowing.
destroy.
And we actually did the same thing. We were out metal detecting behind Brett's shop.
Yep.
And we got some really good hits out there after we said, hey, we're here to do no harm.
Yep.
And we do the same thing when we're investigating too. We do a nice opening prayer. We're not here to do any harm.
Right.
We just want to tell your
An
story.
opening and closing.
Yeah.
It's so important to set boundaries. And Deej and I, we just had this conversation last month on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
It's important to, when you go into a place, to not only set your own boundaries, but to give them theirs and respect their boundaries. And tell them, I'm only here every single time without fail that I go in a cemetery. I cross myself and I tell them I'm here out of respect and reverence and peace. And it's very important to set that tone. And then when you leave, it's even more important to set those boundaries. You are not allowed to follow me. You are not allowed to this, that.
Oh.
I thank you. I thank you greatly for the time that you shared with me.
Dancing on graves.
So, but it's very, very important to do that.
Other than that.
Really important.
Other than
So,
the
Mark,
grave
did
dancing.
you tell them?
Yeah.
Did you tell them about all your trips, Mark, to the cellar hole?
The three that I remember, the
Right.
the orb,
Mhm.
and then the first one, the orb, and the last one where I was polite and said, "Look, I just want to tell your story. I just want to see what you guys did,
And then you
Tell other
found
people.
something.
Save it for history."
Right.
So, devil's advocate would be, the person you encountered in your first trip, were they actually real, or was it an apparition that came to you? That was my first question, was like, okay, if they told you, hey, there's a cellar hole over there, and then they're just off in the distance, what was it? Was it an actual person, or was it somebody leading you that direction in the first place?
Yeah.
Luckily, it was an actual person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, luckily. Because
not to freak you out even more, but these things have happened.
Mark started out a skeptic, you guys, until this happened to him.
Yeah.
Which
And
is a good thing. It's a good thing. It's good. It's okay.
I seem to remember this conversation when we were doing the first collaboration we did, Deej, when we were talking about the ties between metal detecting and paranormal. And I seem to remember you bringing up Mark's name with that. And, it's good to actually, talk to you and kind of get your take on it, to try and explain it better than going through Deej to you to explain what we think may or may not have happened,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to try to show that video clip. I'm going to share it this time. Okay, so hang on. Hang on.
Somebody grab something quick.
Yeah, right. Nobody breathe.
Hold on. I'm trying to pull it right now. I got to go up to the top to quick access.
This is great about live,
Yeah, you never know what you're
And then I
getting.
got to scroll down.
Sometimes you gotta
And
go with
there
the
it
flow.
is. Open.
It's probably a bandwidth
And
thing.
nothing's happening. Oh, it's spinning. I see something spinning.
Well,
Come on.
Let's see.
Uh-oh. That's the spinning wheel of death.
oh my gosh. I've seen that before.
Okay.
It truly is.
Now, is it going to have volume? There it is.
Ooh, there it is.
Live digs. Ready?
There it is.
Right there.
Mm.
And then he took some pictures of it.
Mark, was this with a
From
GoPro
the
or a
video
cell
that he
phone?
got of it.
iPhone.
iPhone. Okay.
Yeah, I was looking. That iPhone X has a weird glitchy thing where it'll do these green orbs.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to
Yeah.
figure out what device you were using.
Yeah. I haven't heard much. That was shot on an iPhone 6,
Mm-hmm.
so I haven't heard much about them glitching like that. But no, I do
I
know
know
the X phones.
the X and the XSs did that.
Okay.
I know I've had a few people.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
I think
hard to
that's
say that's camera flare. I can't really say that
I
that
know.
could be camera flare.
I have to
Because
agree
usually
with
you get
you.
a little bit of a starburst effect.
Right.
It
See?
looks
Yeah,
like
I
a
don't- yep.
metallic green to me. Yeah, it
Oh
looks
crap!
like
Man, I caught a
metallic green
tiny
to me.
UFO.
It's pretty.
Damn it, we found him.
There's two.
It's a
I
pretty
think that's
clean
actually-
Take
shape
that
too.
out.
That's almost flare off from it.
Come on.
Interesting.
Like I said,
That's
I don't
weird.
know if it's
Yay, I
a flare or
did
what
it.
I caught.
It's
So
hard to
what
tell,
do you
Mark. I
guys
mean,
think? I don't think that
I
looks
mean,
like camera flare.
no, because usually you get a little bit of translucency through camera
Yeah.
flare, and that was almost
Yeah.
solid.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, it looked like
Yeah.
a green
It's a very-
stainless steel ball bearing.
Yeah, it's very
It
Yeah.
even
clean.
had a shine
There's
Yeah.
not.
to it.
It's just very solid. I
Damn
don't
it,
know.
we're gonna get visited by the Men in Black after this.
I
aren't we?
know. We're in trouble now.
They're
I don't know,
They're gonna
Mark.
flash our brains.
You definitely, Mark, have something very compelling there.
Yeah,
You really
I mean, that can't really be. I can't really say that's camera flare or lens
No.
flare. There's no way to
No.
to. No, I mean,
No.
the only thing I could suggest is go back and try and recreate it same time of day. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
with the camera, kind of like when Deej had her apparition at her cellar hole
Right.
with the trail cam and try and recreate it. But other than that, I mean, that's irrefutable at that point.
And
I can't really say anything to the otherwise other than
It was
it's
so
solid. Yeah.
yeah. And again, if you look at the whole picture, you weren't just in the woods doing your metal detecting,
Hmm.
and that's the only thing that happened to you.
Yeah.
You have to look at all of the other experiences in that area
Right.
that happened to you and sort of put the whole picture together.
The whisper
Personal
in your
experience,
ear,
right.
And everything else.
Exactly.
Now, Mark, you said
Yeah,
you had
and when
that.
when he was whispered in his ear, he was wearing headphones when it happened.
I was about to ask, were you wearing both? Were you wearing both ears on your headset at the time?
Yeah. I don't. I can't do that one off, one on thing. I gotta have
Yeah.
both covered.
I that's the same thing with me. I got to have both
Yeah.
headphones on so I can hear all
It's
the
just
tones.
it's so hard to tell one way or the other, but it's very compelling. Very compelling,
Right.
especially with all the other experiences.
I was
that
going
you
to say,
had.
because
Yeah.
you had all the other stuff happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'd lean towards tying it all together.
Yeah,
Mhm.
agree.
Yeah,
Great.
I mean,
Okay.
when you're running, I don't know how the Nox works with noise in your headset. Do you have a lot of static or background noise in your with the Nox, or is it only when you hit a tone?
No, I got mine set where I discriminate out most of the metal tone, and
Okay.
the only time I'll get a lot of chatter is if I'm in a heavy EMI field.
Okay.
But
Well, that was my
normally,
next question: is did you have a lot of like white noise or chatter going on in your ears when that was going on? That it might have been filtered in there, almost like it feels like it's almost like a spirit box like action, almost in a sense.
Mhm.
you know
You
what?
get that white noise.
I do run. I don't know if it's anything to do with it, but I do run with my threshold set a little high,
Mm-hmm.
so you have that constant humming in the background.
Well, and that
Yeah.
kind of just that's not saying that provoked it, but it tends to open you up a little bit more to hear stuff you don't normally hear per
Yeah.
se.
Agree.
You know, that white noise tends to open it up, so you're hearing more of the.
Almost like a spirit box.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
it's almost like what we do, which is a spirit box session. I don't know if you ever watched Ghost Hunters, where they had the box that runs through the radio frequencies.
Yeah.
But that white noise, it kind of your hearing sensory kind of heightens a lot when that's going, and you hear a lot more stuff that you don't normally hear. So that actually probably helped you in hearing that
Yeah.
little bit of a phenomenon, that voice phenomenon. You know,
Mark, what time of day was that video taken? Do you know what time that was?
Yeah, that was mid-afternoon.
Okay.
What time of year?
So that was about 2-3 o'clock. Wow, guys are making me work here.
That's what we do.
we've got the hard hitting questions over here.
Yeah,
That's
I think
right.
that was just starting to go into summertime, so the overbrush wasn't that bad,
Mm-hmm.
but
Okay.
still had to fight through a little bit. So I think it was
Spring.
Okay.
Okay.
If you're asking what day it was, I have no idea.
No, well, we would want to know what the moon phase is, if anything,
Yeah.
and what
Yeah,
you had
that,
for
yeah.
breakfast that morning. But
Couldn't
that's
tell you, it was
later on.
daylight.
That's okay. No, yeah, I mean, you gave us the enough information as far as that goes.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
because you know how in the afternoon sometimes you have the setting sun, and then
Yes.
and then
Yep.
you have a lot more of that refraction going on.
Yeah.
That's
that's
one of the
your
reasons
big
why
word
we asked
today.
you for the time of day.
So
And
proud of you
what
for
time of
using a
year
big
was
word, refraction.
it?
I
Hey,
just want to answer.
I'm drinking smart water. Thank you very
I
much.
just want to answer Anthony real quick. Hey, Anthony. No, it wasn't particularly sunny that day. It was slightly overcast.
Yeah, it didn't look. That's one of the reasons I asked. It didn't really look very sunny out.
Yeah, that's
So
why
I
I
wasn't
was
sure
kind of
what time of
curious what time.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I like it. It's compelling. Definitely, you can't discount at all personal experiences that you had at
That'd
all.
be something where we'd want to go and take a closer look at for sure.
Yeah.
If it were my team, and I know Sandy's team would do the same damn thing, we'd be out there going, "All right,
Mhm.
let's check it out."
Yeah.
We
Yep.
get a detector,
Mhm.
whether it's the same one you used or something similar, and we try to recreate the entire scenario and see if there's
Mhm.
something
Yeah, without a doubt.
without a doubt that would
Right.
be something I'd be all on. And then some I'd have you do a
Yeah,
68
because you
page
guys
thesis
are
on
are
the
you guys
property
in the
history.
northern or the southern part of New York?
Yes.
Throw a dart.
Where my team's in the central portion of New York. We're sort of halfway between Syracuse and Albany, so we're
Yeah, we
right
take-
along that corridor.
Yeah, we're on the northern part of New York.
What you might want to call South Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we from where we are right now, I can literally almost spit to Canada across the river.
Yeah.
That's how close we
Yeah.
are.
It's
Oh,
about
wow.
3 hours from
Yeah.
where I live to these guys. About
But
3
we
hours.
travel all the way down to where they are. I mean, we're only an hour away from Lake Placid.
Yeah.
Got to use that landmark everybody knows.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
We're an hour away from the Miracle on Ice. So
True story.
yeah.
The Adirondack Park.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mark.
People
Yeah.
knows that.
So-
Yeah,
So,
we go all over the Adirondack
I'm going to
Park.
share the spotlight with you, Mark, because you were my my metal detectorist guest, and then I want to talk to you guys about my video about my visit to the Serpent Mounds,
Yeah, go.
the
Yeah.
Ohio Serpent
Yes,
Mound.
definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was an awesome video.
So, for those of you who may not have watched it, Don and I went to the Ohio Gold Rush days. We were guests of Ed Flash in Your Pan, who's on at 8:00 tonight. And on the way back to Don's after it was over, he wanted to stop at the Ohio Serpent Mound. He'd never been there, heard all about it. I said, sure, we can do that. It was my last day of vacation. I was wearing the last clean shirt I had and the last clean pair of jeans I had. So we go to these Serpent Mounds, and you can't really get a good picture for a video, because I was trying to do a video on it, standing next to it. I don't like heights, but I climbed this semi-rickety kind of tower. Got on top.
Those are fire towers for us.
And did a video clip where I was panning from left to right. Got the video clip done, and as I finished the video clip, I realized I hear a K2 meter going off behind me. It was like, what in the world? And I turn around, and Don goes, whoa. I turn around, and I was like, I had my phone, and I wanted to film him, and he's going, no, we don't want it. We don't want to be filmed. And that, but you can hear, that's in the video. I jack up the volume on that clip 2 times, to the, I think almost up to 200%. So you can hear them. I think it started out at 1.7 or went to 2.7. You can hear them talking about it. Well, when I climbed down that tower before I started my video clip, it's a 90-degree day out. The sun was out. It was partly sunny. We were cooking. It was 90 degrees. But when I got there, the air was just, it wasn't hot, heavy air. It was like crisp air. It was like almost electrically charged. Uh-oh, where'd Mark go?
I think he's taking a sandwich break.
Okay.
Grabbing a bite.
There he is. So I noticed that, but I mean, I just kind of went, and we went on our way, climbed the tower. The hair stood up on my arms when I got on top of the tower, and I thought, that's weird. Do my video clip, and then I hear the K2 meter going off behind me. You never saw anybody get off a tower so fast in your life. I scurry down the tower. I'm going, Don, you got to go first in case I fall. Because, I mean, I'm already afraid of being up high. You know, I'm fine if I'm not moving once I'm up there, you know. We get down, we start relaxing. We walk down to the head of the serpent. And it was, this serpent mound was along a cliffside, like in a half moon shape, like kind of. So the tail has an overlook as well as the head has an overlook over these cliffs. Well, I get down to the head of the serpent mound, and the hair stands up on my arms again. And I shut my phone off, and I firmly said, you are not allowed to follow me home. You must stay here.
Yep.
So then we walked a little farther. I found the jasmine. It was very relaxing. It was wild jasmine. Smells wonderful. I don't know if you've ever smelled it, but it's like heaven.
Yes.
That helped calm me down a little bit. We walked to the tail. No hair standing up on my arms anymore. So they listened to me. But as soon as we got out of the car, and we didn't know what the serpent mound was even about until we started reading and went in the museum and listened to all the talks and stuff. I didn't know. I thought it was I think I even asked Don in the video is if this was a place of worship, and he said no, a place of rituals, ceremonies, and that.
And Deej, you also said that there was also a burial area.
There were burial
mounds,
right? There. Yeah. There was a partial one and a completed one. Yeah. And I got very upset. We sat down to rest, and the benches face the burial mounds. There's also like a pavilion for any Native American people that want to have a gathering for prayer or anything to go there too. And this woman walks her dog over to one of these serpent mounds. I flew off the bench and said, ma'am, you need to take your dog away from the burial mound. Yep. And she's like looking at me like oblivious. I said, that is a Indian burial ground, Native American burial ground. You're not supposed to be over there. I couldn't believe it. She's going to take a dog to go to the bathroom on a burial mound.
Yep.
People, again, that's the problem. Is a lot of people don't have respect anymore.
I was going to say it's about respect, whether they have it or don't, but it's all about respect. The second experience where the hair stood up on my arms and I started to panic. I started breathing hard. I could not hear the clicking noise that's on that piece of film.
This Don and I couldn't. We didn't hear that when it was happening. That clicking noise. I have no idea what that clicking noise is because we didn't hear it when we were filming. So I
Sue,
don't
didn't
know.
you come up with something for that? I
Yeah,
can't remember what you
to
said.
me it sounded like they're chipping, using trying to either make flint, or they were known to carve out bowls, and they would carve them out by hitting.
They'd make
Um,
arrowheads out of flint.
they
Yeah.
make arrowheads, but they were also known for their bowls and stuff.
Mhm.
And as
Mhm.
I'm doing the research, all of a sudden I see this picture again. This is what happens
Yeah, it
to
was
me.
the
It,
Adena culture that they
yes,
believe is responsible for that.
and it was the clicking of stone as they were trying to form things.
Now they did use stone to make copper arrowheads too,
Yes.
because I just saw that up north,
Yep. And
a demonstration on how
they're
they did
known
it.
for their decorative copper. They're known for their copper dishes, and
Yep.
so either way, that was what was kept coming into my head. I could see somebody hitting
Yeah,
with a stone,
That's what I was getting.
whether it
at
was stone
too,
on
from
stone or
Right.
stone on metal.
Yep.
But it was chipping or hitting.
Right. Right.
And when you think back on it, and so I literally went around my house going, okay, can I find some copper? I have And I'm
Right.
going, what am I hearing? What am I hearing?
Yeah.
My kids thought I was completely loony, but that, they just kind of go off.
Par for the course.
They overlook the stuff.
Right.
They're used
Yeah,
to
that's
it.
just par for the course.
It's just
But
mom doing
then-
her thing.
While I'm working on the video, I discover that you can see my reflection whenever I was looking at the artifacts.
Hmm.
You can
Yep.
see the reflection. And I'm wearing a snake print shirt. Now, mind you, this was the last clean shirt I had left of all the clothes I brought for vacation. Coincidence? I don't know. So then somebody tells me, I forget who it was, that my birth sign, my Indian birth sign or Native American birth sign,
Hmm.
is the sign of the serpent. I was
Interesting.
like, because of one of my birthday falls, the Native American zodiac, like,
Yeah,
Mhm.
you know,
yeah, and
your
it's a little,
birth,
little different.
your
It's a little
birth
different.
animal.
Yeah.
It's not the same as a spirit animal. I don't know what my spirit animal is. I've never looked that up. But my birth animal,
Hmm.
you know, on the Native American zodiac says I'm the serpent, and that medicine men and shaman are usually born during the month I am.
Well, the location itself, and I'm sure Sue and Damon will agree, is probably a perfect storm of a heavy amount of residual energy.
Yes.
Very heavy amount of residual energy. And it wouldn't
Mhm.
surprise me at all if there was some intelligent
Yeah,
spirits.
that's exactly where I was
Yeah.
going next.
Yeah,
And
they're
whatever
still there.
underlying ley lines may be in the area as well.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
You know,
You have to
you've
take
got
into
you've
account
got an
ley lines.
overlook of a water feature next to this as well. I mean, it's just
Right, there was a river
it's-
next to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
so
perfect storm.
you've got a perfect storm
Yes.
of just kind of amplifying and
Yeah.
making
Yeah.
that.
And
a
on
lot
top
more.
of it, you were very respectful of what is there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
what it is, what it was, and you wouldn't allow anyone to desecrate it in any
Desecrate it.
way.
Right.
And so, if there's intelligent spirits there, they're going to see that,
Hmm.
and that chill that you got, that would be very likely that someone's letting you know, thank you,
Mhm.
for respecting our way of life, our grounds, or whatever.
Right.
I can very much see that being a possibility.
Yeah.
And if you in
Mhm.
any way are the least bit open, or if there was some sort of connection that you may have to not just the location, but to the whole idea of it,
Mhm.
Yep.
that could kind of set things off as well.
That was
So
going to be
you-
my $1 million question: is do you have
Yeah.
any Native American heritage in your background, in your lineage
Not
anywhere?
to my knowledge, no.
Interesting.
Have you had your
Very
DNA?
Not
Have
to
you
my
had?
knowledge. I've researched my family history on both sides. I can't say totally about my father. His family came with Daniel Boone to Kentucky, but I can find him. I can find them in Kentucky, and I can find them in New England, but I can't find him in between.
Okay. If he was with Daniel Boone, if your family was with Daniel Boone, then I guarantee you he had some kind of interaction with the Native American. It might not be a blood connection.
Yeah.
It might be an
Right.
ancestral
Mhm.
connection.
Right.
And those
Okay.
those connections can be just as strong as any
Yeah.
blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally
Okay.
agree.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely.
Yep.
That's an amazing story.
My dad's family came from Wales, okay, to New England. He was the first Baptist minister in Kentucky. And they went in a wagon train with a bunch of other people, and Daniel Boone was guiding it.
Yeah.
Daniel Boone and somebody else. I forget who the somebody else was.
Well,
So-
Daniel Boone worked with another guide, but it was Daniel Boone was he was the one that started the homesteads in a couple of different places. So
Right.
it's his namesake is out there more than the other
Right.
guys.
Right. Well, they were in Kentucky for a while, and then they disappear. I find them in North Carolina for a short period of time. Then they come back to Kentucky, and then the sons, when it comes time for the Civil War, the family was split north and south.
And that happened a lot. That happened a lot.
More than you know.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
Can't imagine
That's crazy.
dinner, after that. But
That'd be an
anyways,
interesting Thanksgiving dinner.
family
Right.
dinner.
Yeah.
That'd make your family dinners look like a cakewalk.
well, I would love to
Yeah.
do this again with another guest sometime if you guys are interested.
Sure.
yeah,
Sure.
Sure. This is
Certainly.
always
In
fun.
that.
We love this.
Go
In
ahead.
that, I would
Okay.
actually like to do a thing where somebody could come on and tell their story. I could give them a link in the chat, and they could come on and talk for a few minutes, and then you could give them some ideas, and then somebody else could
Sure.
have a turn
For sure.
Sure.
in that
Sure.
sometime. But thank you, Mark, for sharing your story. I hope this gave you some peace after hearing what they had to say. He's
Yes.
not
Yes and no.
any emotion.
He's not sure what to make of it yet.
Nothing followed me home that day, so I'm great.
Yep. So you're good.
That's the
That's
best
good.
part.
That's good.
That's good.
That's good. So
Let us know if you ever decide to go back there and
Yeah.
see if you have the same experiences.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Go
remember,
back
set
where?
your boundaries.
oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Or maybe I can come down and check it out with you.
Yeah.
Road
You're
trip.
welcome.
Road trip.
That's a road trip.
Pittsburgh's not
Yeah.
that far away.
No.
Just a shot down the Northway.
This is true. It's a straight run, isn't it?
All
It
right.
pretty much
Well,
is a straight
thank
run,
you
yeah.
so much. I'm going to put you guys in the back room for a couple of minutes while I say my goodbyes to the audience so they can have an intermission
Very good.
in between Audra's, because the next part 2, and you guys can have a break. Part 2 is with Audra at Jersey History Hunter, and her guest will be Brandon, Alabama Dirt Digger.
Cool.
So, and
Very cool.
then our team of experts here will be over at Audra's channel as well to have this discussion just like we did here. So,
Fantastic.
Amy
Sounds
Lynn
good.
Biss, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks, guys.
So
Thank
I
you
appreciate
so much.
everybody coming, and I'll talk
Absolutely.
to you guys in a couple minutes. Okay.
Alrighty.
Sounds
Bye-bye.
All
Bye.
right.
Safe digging, Mark.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Bye, Mark. Enjoy your dinner.
So, how did you guys like it? Were you pleased with how it turned out? Well, I appreciate everybody that came. I appreciate my moderators helping me. Mark, thank you for putting all the links up. I appreciate that. So Audra will have the part 2. Hi, Gary. Welcome. It's okay. It's always available for replay. This was something a little different. I thought I'd try for the Halloween season. I hope you enjoyed it. And now I'm going to have to really work hard on the brain cells here to try to figure out what to do next Halloween. But I would like to do a live stream where I have them as guests, and if you have had an experience that you just want to talk for 5 or 10 minutes on and ask them some questions, some advice, if you guys are in tune to doing something like that, let me know what you think. So it's intermission time. Thank you, everybody, for coming. If I missed you in the chat, please don't be offended. It was not intentional. I'm trying to keep track of 4 other people. So I appreciate everybody's support, and I will have a metal detecting video this Friday. Metal detecting with Randy. It's my collaboration hunt with him. So see you at Jersey History Hunters. Bye, folks.